We're now technically both here, although not at the same time. I'm reacting to Joe's tier list. He said this was all the stuff that we watched growing up during the holidays, and he made a tier list because, it's 2021, it's almost 2022. Might as well keep doing tier lists. They're totally relevant. That's totally what people still do. Look, we got a beautiful frame here. Look at this. This is the first frame of it.
And let me know where you placed everything. And also in the comments, let me know on what your thoughts and opinions are on what we chose to put in S tier all the way down to haven't seen. All right.
All the way down to haven't seen. I wouldn't say haven't seen's at the bottom. Like technically it is, but haven't seen's just like you haven't seen it. Like something could be good and you haven't seen it. I don't know. I'm a sucker for a lot of Christmas stuff, so I'd probably put a lot into S tier. But I guess subjectively, you gotta put some stuff below. Let's give a quick look at what we have here. There's a couple that I've seen once and don't remember very well, like The Night Before, Fred Claus. Yeah, he doesn't have many old ones in here. And there's White Christmas.
So as you can see, ladies and germs, we have, starting with S, The Goated. This is basically a movie that you struggle that you can't wait until Christmas time is around. You could watch it all year round if you really wanted to. Then we got A.
I put on the Santa Claus in the springtime and had a drinking game around it. Watched all three, and that was when I saw the second and third for the first time forever. And, they're not great, but they're okay. Like the second and third. I really like the first one.
Which is the yearly watch. You can't have a Christmas experience without it. Then we got B, which is good. That kind of makes it through the cycle, and you wouldn't be upset if you guys chose not to. C, you got the naughty list. One that is not that great. Maybe someone your family likes and you don't. And then F, worse than coal. You cannot be paid to watch this movie. And then there is the classic haven't seen. Now,
Classic.
recently in the last couple of years, my family has been watching Inglourious Bastards on Christmas Eve as a little weird tradition. It's kind of becoming.
I've been watching, for some reason I associate stuff from World War II and World War One with wintertime. I'm not really sure why, because they spend longer than a year. So it covers all of that. But I think I remember some short stories were about Christmas time during World Wars, and maybe that's why. But yeah, I watched Band of Brothers or Inglorious Bastards in the wintertime. It's probably because it's cold, it's dark, it's somber, and so it's a good time to watch war movies.
I kind of made it a thing. Don't worry.
You made it a thing. You made watching war movies a thing. Good job.
You're not going to see that here. We're going to do all these Christmas classics with a hint of some stuff that I threw in there as well.
He's going to take credit for Die Hard as well, isn't he?
Diving into it. So first and foremost, we have It's a Wonderful Life, which is a classic, but a tale kind of like A Christmas Carol, but then with a twist on how things would be like if he wasn't so nice, essentially. It was quite a good flip.
Wasn't so nice. It's about if he wasn't born. If he, that's, I guess that's sort of he was nice, he was selfless, and because of that, all these people's lives changed. And if he wasn't there, then they wouldn't have changed for the better. So I guess that's fair, but
it's really well done, well acted, and you really feel for the guy. But also, it's gonna be a yearly watch. You can't go without It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life's great.
Even in every time I'm watching Home Alone 2, they can't, and they go to France, they can't stop but have.
No.
All right. So next we got a Christmas special, another one that is based on the Christmas Carol movie. We got here the Flintstones Christmas Carol, the one where the bedrock bug is going around town and is ruining them for throwing their own show or play, similar to Scrooged. As a kid, I adored it. I think
this was the first thing I watched this year from this list. No, that's not true. It was Home Alone was the first, but I put that on in like early November, so that doesn't really count. When it started to become Christmas, this was the first one I put on.
Love the Flintstones, but as I grew up and rewatched it, I gotta put it in naughty.
Oh, fuck you. I would have put it in good. Like, it's not anything amazing, but I would put it in naughty.
My word. It's not fantastic, especially if you have watched Scrooge and see how it's kind of like sort of a carbon copy in some kind of respects. And it's only about 20 minutes, so you don't get a whole lot out of it. Coming in next is one of our more...
Being 20 minutes is good. I like Christmas specials for that reason, when they're a shorter, little bite-sized thing. Because then if you're going to power through this giant library of stuff, and some of these are like an hour and a half, 2 hours, you want a couple of 20-minute ones to like just put in there. Like, you can plop it in while you're waiting for an oven to preheat because you're making dinner.
Recent films, it's with Seth Rogen, The Night Before.
I've watched this once. I don't really remember it. I'm sure it's fine. Joe always talks about this one. He likes this one a lot, I believe. And you know, it's hard for me to fit some movies into the locker that is all the stuff that comes out in December.
A lovely, lovely comedy that I love quite a bit. It hasn't gotten to a yearly watch yet, but I still laugh at it a lot, especially because they have Seth Rogen in the Christmas cheer. They throw in also his Judaism, especially because his character hasn't married into Christian bit, so they celebrate Christmas. They basically have a Chrismukkah. And then you got Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and then you have the Falcon. I'm sorry, I forget your name, but
His name is Anthony Mackie.
This one surprised me a lot when I first saw it. I actually have it as good. It's not there every year, but I make sure to watch it. I actually would like to watch it outside of Christmas, so I could put it in GOATed based on that, but I don't think it's still like a landmark.
It's either S or B.
Christmas
It's not an A.
itself.
That's not an option.
But another Christmas special, one of which
Charlie
is
Brown, put it to the top.
Legendary shows. It's the Peanuts. It's a Charlie Brown's Christmas, where basically he also gets made director of a play where they just start dancing about. Don't know what's going on there.
They're dancing.
But regardless, he finds a tree and wants to bring the Christmas spirit on everyone because they seem to have lost it. Gets a danky tree, but nonetheless still got it. And then they basically turned it around and had the best yodeler. That's going to be good for me. I have to watch that all the time.
All right, good. He was hovering over A, and I'm like, it's a Charlie Brown Christmas. It's like the Christmas special. It's bite-sized. It fills a lot of stuff in there. It covers a lot of part of Christmas without like removing the scope of it's literally just the Peanuts gang trying to make a Christmas play, with the focus being on Charlie Brown trying to find the joy in Christmas again. Like, it's perfect. It's the perfect Christmas special.
Next is another Christmas special, one that's classic and it's got its own song. We got here Frosty the Snowman, where
Frosty's a classic. Frosty has its own song that like everybody grows up knowing. They get the movie. There's a ton of bad Frosties. This is the OG. This is a good one. It's just a fun little adventure. It's one of those, like, you need ones that are like, it's not particularly hugely about Christmas. It's about a snowman going to the North Pole so he doesn't die. And, you know, Santa saves him later. But, like, you know, the antagonist is a magician. It's great.
He comes alive and his first words are,
"Happy birthday!"
Yeah, they're weird. Very weird. It's a magical hat that turns this big old beast into a giant sled, and then this lady tries to ship him off in a train so he does not die.
Rip.
Too bad. That is good.
Good.
Not a yearly watch, but
you don't even watch it yearly?
Lovely. That is one I will show to my kids 100% down the road. You know and love them if you were born in the 90s and grew up.
Should be at least an A.
He was the heartthrob that disappeared from Hollywood. We have Jonathan Taylor Thomas's JTT's I'll Be Home for Christmas.
I think I've seen it once.
Instead of being America's heartthrob
I don't remember
and sweetheart, he is being an asshat. And that just so happens he's wearing a Santa Claus hat. It is not a great movie. I used to think it was quite funny when I was young, and as I grew up, he is just a manipulative dude that is racing to get home to then be given his dad's Porsche instead of going to, I think, Mexico or Aruba or something like that. But he was baited to come home for Christmas because he refused to come home for Christmas. Worse than Cole, get out of here. But also, I love you, JTT.
I don't remember this movie at all. Like I think I watched it once. Like he's the voice of young Simba. But I don't remember this movie other than yeah, it's like him trying to get home for some reason.
Then we have A Christmas Story. This is a classic in every household. Most people would put it goated or most.
We never watched this much growing up. I don't really remember ever watching it growing up. I think it was on Navy TV once. Yeah, I have no opinions on it. And I've heard some people say they hate it.
Most people put it at yearly watch. Basically about a kid avoiding a bully as throughout the Christmas times. It's something I definitely should put on my radar, but unfortunately, haven't seen. All right.
That's literally the only scene I know from the movie. Maybe some people, I guess some people love it and some people hate it, and I don't know. I have not sat down and watched that movie.
Fleas and Germs. We knew we were going to get to it eventually, and it was
Home Alone, put it to the top. Goated. I watched that outside of Christmas.
quite early, actually. We got here A Home Alone, the movie that's got John Williams and his magnificent orchestra hands all over it in the 1992-93 classic that no one expected to be as successful as possible. I think it like sold out and was number one for 8 to 10 weeks straight. There's a whole documentary.
It's 1990.
On it and how they built it and did the house and everything. It's remarkable. And how actually Marv was not going to be played by that character or that actor. Well, it was originally, then had conflict and then got into it. I love this movie because you got Joe Pesci just leaving the whole Goodfellas.
Yeah, Joe Pesci and the guy Marv. It's Daniel Stern. We've watched other movies with him in it.
Mafia type of thing to go into here and to be a robber. But funny enough, he's always got a lip on him, but he masks it.
What?
Yeah, that's just him swearing. That is how he is swearing.
Yeah, I wonder how much he swore on set. Because Joe Pesci's great. And his mumbling in Home Alone's great, but he can swear.
You know he's cussing this kid out. But if you love a movie where a kid is just going to torture two guys that tried to, take over his house, he had to defend it. I'm going to put that it is above Charlie Brown's Christmas for sure. It is something I will watch all the time, and it gets better and better with age. It's like fine wine. The only thing I wish is that the movie in it was legit.
I'm gonna give you to the count of 10 to get your ugly, yellow, no-good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead.
That's the one. All right, then we have the...
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. It's good. It's good. Home Alone, that's one of my favorites.
The original Christmas Carol. Well, the Christmas Carol story is so iconic and legendary that it is a basic theme throughout most Christmas tales. It's hard not...
I don't think we watched this one much. This is the 1930s A Christmas Carol. But my family, it was mostly our parents, because, when you're really young, you're like, you, black and white. Our family watched the 1950s Scrooge, starring Alistair Sim.
Not to even just put it in good, it's a little like, I like watching a bit more modern stuff. You throw in some flavor.
You wouldn't notice that if, look at this list. Look at all this not modern stuff. It's everything is from, now-ish back to, when we were kids.
Of the older 1938 edition. It still holds up to a degree. It's a remarkable feat for what they did. No different than, watching Wizard of Oz.
I don't know. I don't know if I've actually seen this version of A Christmas Carol. Like I said, we watched the 1950s one, which I don't think is on his list.
More common, up-to-date renditions. Absolutely. This movie, I have no idea why it is.
I've seen it once. I don't remember it. I remember it was like this is the one where they try and skip Christmas and they're in a town of people that are obsessed with it, right? I think that's it, but I don't remember it, so I can't really have an opinion.
Always on the top of the list at Netflix or whatever service. I don't get why it's even there. Tim Allen, you're better than that. Go there with JTD. Be reunited with Jonathan. That is Christmas with Cranks. Get down there. Santa Claus already coming in the gate.
Santa Claus is an S tier for me. Oh, and Tim Allen's funny.
This is also a remarkable movie. This movie just completely flips the script, and it's so unique. It's its own tale where Scott Calvin, SC, funny, is divorced, right? Perfect setup to then thus become Santa Claus. He does so by killing the previous Santa Claus. Super dead.
He just said hey to like Santa. Santa slipped off his roof. It wasn't his fault. It was that he put on his clothes afterwards. That's what made him the Santa Claus. That was signing the Santa Claus.
And then the villain, the main villain, is the pseudo stepfather Neil, a psychiatrist who basically this entire movie is them thinking that their 9-year-old son, who believes in Santa, needs psychiatric help. Get up there, you're goated. Get up there. Also, we're going to rearrange some of this as we get further up there, just as we get second opinions and everything like that.
The three at the top are definitely ones that I put on immediately when Christmas comes around. A lot of good lines in the Santa Claus, a lot of good scenes. It's funny, but also it's kind of, wholesome. And its tone, even though it's like this ridiculous premise of this guy just becoming Santa over the course of a year, and no one believing it as it's happening, it feels really grounded, which the following sequels of it did not. They feel a bit more not grounded. I think that's why I like them less, because the tone just kind of feels off.
Next up, we have Jason Bateman doing Jason Bateman things and putting naughty movies back on your bucket list.
We watch me and my wife, we watch The Office Party like every year. It's great. It's different because it's literally just like a company that's about to like shut down, or like their branch is about to shut down, so I just want to throw this big party while also trying to not shut it down. I think like one of the guys gets like hooked up on cocaine, like one of the guys that they're trying to make a big deal with that would save the company. It's fun. I would have put it, I don't know, like it's kind of naughty, I guess. I don't know, I'd put it like probably like high C or in the even B's, but then he has stuff in the B's that I'd probably put in the A's, so
You got Office Christmas Party where there's a lot of cocaine involved and a lot of forgettable moments and predictable storytelling.
It's
all right. It's been a while since the Christmas Carol style movie came in, and we spoke about it before. We got Scrooge. We got Bill Murray at his finest in the late 80s.
Scrooge. Scrooge is the Alistair Sim Christmas Carol from the 50s. Scrooge is the past tense or whatever. Is Bill Murray's classic from the 80s, which we watched a lot growing up. My dad loved this film.
Basically giving us the Fred Flintstone style where he is directing the entire Scrooge live audience, and he has to find his way from being...
He's not directing, he's a producer.
Naughty to nice eventually. That is without a doubt a yearly watch. It is super funny. Bill Murray is in his element in this entire film.
Yeah,
Love it.
Great movie.
Love every bit. All right, we got the original, the Grinch who stole, or
throw it to the top.
Grinch stole Christmas. Stole Christmas. Grinch. This is the Dr. Seuss.
You got this.
Cartoon come to life. Well, not really. The book came to life in anime form. Goes in good.
Good. Before I'm gonna pause you right there. So I have like he has put both Frosty and the Grinch in his B category. But like, it is a classic. And it's quick, gets to the point quickly. It's focused. It's about, it's not about the things. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. I'd put it at least in yearly watch. How are you not yearly watching the Grinch?
I don't know. There's just something about his eyes and his teeth that maybe his liver's failing or something like that. But it's all right.
You claiming he has jaundice, and that's why you're not watching it yearly?
I mean, I never really got into the whole Who's Forest Whoville stuff, but it's all right. You know what? I'll probably put it. Yeah, I'll put it there. Look at that sexy.
He's putting the night before Frosty and the Grinch. or how the Grinch stole Christmas. You got some Boris Karloff in there. You got your Frankenstein being the Grinch. That's, I don't know. I love all TV shorts. My favorite scenes were the when it's showing them the Who's getting all their presents, like I guess he was imagining them getting it, where and it's just how ridiculous some of these things were, like where these gigantic orchestra machines that they're riding around, making all the noise. No, this list has been okay so far, but I would have bumped It's a Wonderful Life up to goated. I would have put Frosty and the Grinch into yearly watch, and I'd put the Flintstones into good. The Office Party is kind of a guilty pleasure, so maybe it is fine being a naughty.
Smile. All right, this one is going to spark up some conversation because when I was on Twitter the other day, I had saw people putting their top 10, and one had released that another movie, that maybe the third one where it doesn't even have Macaulay in it, is higher ranked than 2. Blasphemy. Yearly watch. Get in there. Lost in New York.
So for me, I acknowledge that the original one's a better film, but I really enjoy the second one. Even though it's a carbon copy, it just has moments that are so special, that are different. Like Tim Curry in any scene he's in, just them wandering around New York and stuff. The premise on how they're just trying to get him on a different flight, where he's just really needs to listen to some music in his Walkman. That is a total product placement. I always wanted that specific Walkman, but alas, didn't get it. No, I think it's goated, but yearly watch is also good, because I acknowledge that, I don't know, there's a lot of special scenes, and I can watch Home Alone 2 without watching I can watch them in opposite order if I want. I think they're both great. And I respect the first one. I think it is probably structurally better, but I think the second one just has moments that I just really enjoy. Like some of the gags, like the bricks and stuff like that, are just hilarious.
Yes, probably the most improbable thing to happen. But this is also pre 9/11. Look, you got that. Oh, that's the Empire State. Never mind. But still pre 9/11, where they are clearly not checking your tickets. And he is going in there to wreak havoc on some bad boys again. But it seems more like he's killed them.
Bang! Love it.
Yeah, pretty dark rewatching it, but it's something that me and Stu watched a lot together. We would stop, rewind, laugh, giggle about. And when you watch it again, it is fun. It's not as probable and even at points scary than the first one. It still is lovely. Bad Santa. Yeah.
I've seen Bad Santa once. I don't remember it very well. I think it was okay. Like, I think it would probably be like in the same realm as Office Space. Office Christmas. Office Space is a classic, but we're not talking about that. I just don't. Yeah, I don't remember very well.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I'd put that like in the A or goated. But he said, like, I don't watch it yearly, but like I'd put it up there. Like for me, this like captures the feeling of the stress of the holidays. Because I don't think it's specifically a Christmas film. It's just like a holiday film. I can't remember. It might even be during Thanksgiving. I don't remember exactly because I don't watch it every year because it's stressful. But it's hilarious. It's that type of comedy where like you're kind of laughing at the expense of like how frustrating it is. You got the lovable John Candy, just kind of like cracking little jokes here and there, being happy go lucky, while Steve Martin is just trying to get home and everything's fucking up.
Candy and Steve Martin in their element. You're gonna hear that a lot. In their element. We got one wacky dude that sells shower curtain holder things to be jewelry, and Steve Martin, a money-making dude, and they're just trying to make it home for Christmas. They're both very different people, but they are spreading the love of Christmas. It's not a yearly watch at all. Probably just because I forget that it actually is a Christmas movie, but apparently it is.
It's a holiday.
It's better cause they actually want to go home to their parents or family instead of Jonathan Taylor Thomas just sulking and trying to, give me a Porsche, Daddy. It is going to be good. I'm going to put it right there before The Night Before. Perfect.
I'd put it before The Night Before, or even into. Well, I mean, like I'd put it in A if A didn't mean yearly watch because I don't watch it yearly. I probably every other year. No, it's great scenes, funny. It got a higher rating than it needed to because of one scene where he's trying to get like a rental car, and he just goes off this small little rant where he's just dropping the F-bomb again and again and again. That scene, like. That's the only time he swears. And that scene, he does it a bunch. And it's like, yep, if we remove the scene, we can get a lower rating. And he's like, no, it's like, no, we're putting the scene in. And I respect that. The art form. Because you feel the stress.
Go check it out if you haven't seen it. It's a great movie. John Candy, rest his soul. Amazing, amazing dude. Big smile. Next up, I remember seeing this the first time when it came out. Probably was it like 2012, 2013?
Oh, it's Arthur Christmas. Okay.
14. I don't remember. But we got Arthur Christmas here. You can't even see his head. It's a little too big because he's tall, where he is the son of Santa. And his trying to bring back the actual joy into having Santa actually physically give everything, where his brother, who's more of a military grade type of dude, is just trying to be as efficient and expel spreadsheet about the whole situation. I watched it the first time. I thought that was lovely. Good new age film. Its own thing. Watched it again. It's kind of naughty. Better.
I'd put it in good just because it's a little different. It's like using the Santa's family as the family that needs to remember the Christmas spirit.
Better than naughties. For all you people that are single, you probably haven't seen this. For those of you that have a partner, you've definitely seen The Holiday. And you know what's great about The Holiday? I could watch it every year and not be bothered. The Holiday is...
Yeah, no, I agree. I enjoy The Holiday. It's fun. It's like, it's wholesome. But like, acted well. It's like, I'm guessing it's like a Hallmark movie, but like, it's a Hollywood one. You got your... You got funny moments, you got, likable characters. You get like, because of the two settings, you get like that Christmas in California look, but then you also have like that Christmas in Scotland look.
It's great. It's got Jack Black before he was
or I guess England. I don't know where it is.
And it's fun. Yeah. Have a glass of wine with it.
Yeah, it's fun.
No complaints. You don't need to get much more in depth about it.
Yeah, it's fun.
But also, who doesn't like Mickey Mouse and a thrice special with chipmunks and Pluto and trees?
I don't watch it that often.
Get up there, buddy.
I don't watch it that often. I don't know.
This whole premise is where some creepy dude, Tom Hanks, takes a bunch of kids, kidnaps them, and tries to charter them all the way to the North Pole. The animation scares me half to death, basically. Because it was around that era where like, wow, that animation's...
He's hovering over worse than coal, and if he puts it in there...
Pretty cool. People said that about Beowulf too. They're not saying that anymore. I'm sorry. It's between C and F for me. I know a lot of people love it, but you know what? You can go above Office Christmas Party or whatever.
I don't know. The Polar Express, I so the animation never bugged me. It's like that Uncanny Valley thing where it was when they were starting to get actually pretty good with 3D animation, but not great. And so everything looks like this weird, like kind of creepy look. Also, I'm pretty sure almost all they were doing mocap like facial mocap stuff. And I think they used a bunch of Tom Hanks for he has a bunch of characters they used it for because they look like Tom Hanks, like the conductor, but then also like the person that's like stowed, like the ghost that's stowed away on like the roof of the train. But I think they also used his facial casting thing for the characters too, because this was like new, so they wanted like an actor to do the facial mocap. So that's probably where some of the weirdness also came from. But like as a story, like I would have put it in like B, like but the animation doesn't bug me. I think it looks fine, and they're on a train. Who doesn't like trains? The entirety of the thing almost is entirely on trains.
Way to steal the children. All right, for those of you that don't get much joy out of Christmas and find relatability in avoiding your family during Christmas, but then thus have to reluctantly go and visit them anyways, Fred Claus may be for you, but not for me.
I don't think I've ever seen Fred Claus.
I love my family. Love
Thanks,
Actually
Joe.
just watched it the other night again.
I'd put it back. I'd put it like we watch usually like Love Actually and The Holiday like almost back to back or at the same few days. It's like when you have that mood for those, like little love stories going on in the Christmas time. Great cast in Love Actually because it's like a bunch of different small stories going on, where The Holiday's like two main ones.
I felt it in my fingers and I felt it in my toes. That's what it gave us. It's all right. It's probably like that all right. No.
You're telling me you don't watch Love Actually yearly? That's like one of the Christmas modern things. It's just a bunch of different, like it has a little story for everyone. Everyone has like their favorite story.
I watch it more than it. It's that all right. Some pseudo stuff where like
It's all right. It's in his good category.
like your buddy's best friend basically tells his friend's wife that he loves her. The Holiday wins. Sorry, fam. This movie, oh my gosh, Netflix exclusive.
I would probably say The Holiday as a full movie is better. It's just that Love Actually, some of the plot lines I really liked. Like the ones he didn't talk about, like Colin Firth's being that struggling writer with the like maid of the like little vacation cottage they're in. That one's great. Also the one with also Liam Neeson's one where he's taking care of his stepson and they're both just kind of like not sure what to do. Those ones. Those are cute little stories.
Surprised me. It reminded me a lot of Tim Burton style animation with the skinny legs or sometimes the ghastly hips. Klaus gives a completely different take on the idea of Christmas. More of this is like a northern Scandinavian style of the classic tale of Kris Kringle. It's not there yet for yearly watch, but it can be.
I mean, it just came out. You need time for it to be a yearly watch. I watched it once because it came out either last year or the year before, and it was good. But yeah, I don't know. You got to stew on Christmas films, I guess.
It's so new that it could be a yearly watch. I really enjoyed it. I want to rewatch it. I thought it was a really cool tale. Go watch it if you haven't. Now, I couldn't get the thumbnail of it before, but this is going to be the Muppets Christmas. This is not the Muppets Christmas Carol, because we got a lot of Christmas carols in here. This is the one where they all end up stranded in a snowstorm in a house, where then it...
I swear, you couldn't find a thumbnail for the Muppets Family Christmas? Would you look at that? There it is. You probably thought it was like the Muppets Christmas special or something like that, but it's the Muppets Family Christmas. I'll help you out, buddy. Look at, there it is. I found it for you. We didn't watch the Muppets Christmas Carol. We didn't have it growing up. We watched it a few times when it was on TV. This we only had this because we recorded it some year. So I remember a bunch of Christmas commercials in between the segments of this. Yeah. Well, let's see what he wants us to say, because like I hear, like, I've watched the Muppets Christmas Carol since then, and it's good. It's, it's the Christmas Carol. I think something that makes it really good is fucking Michael Caine is just acting his ass off and just taking it completely, like, seriously, in spite of the fact that there are Muppets everywhere. And I like the Marley and Marley song. It's a good one.
It breaks into like a rock moment in the basement with Animal. Classic. Love it. That's a quick...
That wasn't a scene from it. Wasn't it? Wasn't that from or is he talking about the Carol? Okay, I don't know what he's talking about now. If he's talking about the Carol or the Family Christmas.
Love it. This is a thing that I watched when I was like 6. It was on the same tape of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. So somehow I associate Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with Christmas, but it's not on here. Don't worry about that. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
I'm
the same.
But it is going to make its way probably right in front of Frosty.
I really like the Muppets Family Christmas. That's probably why I knew how to find a thumbnail for it. And like I can even now just do this. There you go, buddy. Maybe if we just kind of woo. He's gonna move stuff around and I'll forget, so I'm gonna get rid of that. But like that, the Muppets Family Christmas, they do Jingle Bell Rock, and it's not in the basement. Also, that looked like it was either from like Muppets Treasure Island, or maybe it was from the Carol. I don't know. Because I don't remember the Carol very well. It's a yearly watch for me. I watch that every year.
It's a lovely time. Anything that the Muppets do actually is good, because they don't pump out things all the time. Every time they do pump out something, it's magnificent. Okay, this is where you can take something so great and then get so much greed in the same time, where you eventually are coal yourself. We got the Santa Claus 2. I like the idea originally on where it was going, where Charlie is on the naughty list and is like, oh, what am I going to do about my son who's estranged? It still sucked. Why? Why would you do that?
I almost never watched the second one, or even the third one, but I feel like if it wasn't for the first one, it would be fine, and we'd probably put it in C or something like that. Although he has some good stuff in C that should probably be in B. He should probably just have another category in between. But I get it.
All right, now we got Jim Carrey, Canada's GOAT. We got The Grinch That Stole Christmas.
This for me is a yearly watch. We watch this every year. It's great. Maybe Joe just doesn't... I don't know where he's going to put it yet, but I was going to say maybe he just doesn't like The Grinch, because he also put the original Grinch, which I would have probably put like also in yearly watch or in GOATed. It's just a classic.
Live action actually brought to life this time. Another one that people adore. In some cases, you could go, instead of visiting Santa, you can go visit Santa Claus version of The Grinch. It's okay. I like I said, I don't really like The Grinch and the story terribly.
Why?
It's tied with the other one.
That's fair. I think like the classic is, better because it's like it's contained, and that live adaptation I like because Jim Carrey actually pulled off being the Grinch in a live action thing, which is like you look at this and you're like, how could you possibly do that? So I think he gets points for that, but putting them side by sides, I think fair.
Honestly, I like, just out of respect for Jim Carrey, it's okay.
I wouldn't have done that though. the classic's the classic. It's bite sized. It's contained. It's to the point. There's no fat to trim. Where the Grinch ain't perfect. It's just good. And this was before they kept remaking the Grinch.
It's in between B and C for me. It's a B. If I had anything to say about it. Next. What about a world where Michael Keaton is your father who dies, and then you blow on a harmonica, Alvin, and then turns into Jack Frost, essentially in snowman form, and then thus propels your hockey career?
Good to have a big butt. Let's get out of here!
It's kind of good. It's kind of good. Actually,
see, I'd put this.
Good. There we go. We separated out the two Grinches. Nice.
He's pushing the classic one further back. I'd put it in good. I think it's actually decent. Like it feels like a good, like Disney movie, not Disney, like a Disney Channel movie. Those holiday things feels like a good one of those. The only difference is I would have a lot of the stuff that is in good probably higher up. Because it's Jack Frost is not the same caliber as say like the Grinch or Love Actually or Frosty but it's good. It's kind of good. It's fun. Could be much worse.
Love that. All right, we got Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the puppeteering moment where that elf knew that it wanted to be a dentist, and the best part of it is the abominable snowman and its hunter the entire time.
Yukon Cornelius.
Great, and it's got
it's not really a hunter.
Banging, singing Frosty the Snowman essentially in it. I'm going to put that
yearly watch.
There. That one hurt. Like, they're two very different things. I think they're tied. It definitely goes.
I was going to say, I think Rudolph is my favorite of the stop motion ones. And then I realized it is the only stop motion Joe has on his list. Where's Santa Claus is coming to town? Where's our little ginger Kris Kringle? The Meister Burger.
Goes there. Loved that. All right. Next on the docket, what do we got here? We got White Christmas.
For me, White Christmas is goated. It's, I think, my favorite of the, like, classic... I don't know what you call them. We'll just say classics. The ones from, like, the 50s. You got your Bing Crosby. You got the song White Christmas, but it's just, like... It's an enjoyable film. It's good.
A new one in my life, essentially. I don't watch it all the time.
I'm like, a new one? It's ancient. We did not watch this growing up, though. I watched this first because of my wife. Because this was the type of Christmas stuff she watched a bunch. It's good. I like it.
My lovely partner and their family loves the older style movies and got me into White Christmas. It's a fun little story. Bing Crosby, get in there. It's good. It is good. It's not the best, but it's good. Actually,
I mean, it's a yearly watch for my family now. I guess it's confusing when you say family when we're brothers talking about stuff, but like for me and my partner, it's a yearly watch and has been for a long time now. But I think it's my favorite of those types of movies. So it's either A or S for me. Just enjoyable. Also, it has a little bit of World War I in there. So, or is it World War II? I'm not sure. It's always confusing because like they filmed these things. These were like filmed in like the 50s and 60s. But a lot of the time you're watching stuff that while filmed then, it takes place in like the 1910s and 1920s. So you're not sure when the time frame is. Like Meet Me in St. Louis is like, that takes place in like 04. Like, that was before World War One. But it was filmed in like the 40s or 50s.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, there you go. Muppets still are better. Sorry, honey. Now this one I put it in here just for Stu's sake because I think he's going to do this down the road.
I watched Die Hard last night. Normally we watch Die Hard on Christmas Eve, but this year the family got together on Christmas Eve, so there was no time. So we watched it. We watched it on Christmas Day because we got snowed in.
Die Hard. It's the constant. Is it a Christmas movie? Is it not? And the only argument that they have is it goes over Christmas, but it has nothing to do with actual gifts giving and cheer. You got Alan Rickman being a bastard.
Excuse you. So they say Merry Christmas a ton in that movie. They reference Christmas a ton. It happens during a Christmas party. There's a ton of... There is arguably more Christmas in this movie than a lot of these other films. A lot of these films also just take place at Christmas. Then they don't even say Merry Christmas or whatever. And it's about togetherness and family. It has all the elements. You have like a separated like husband and wife, and through adversity of the husband killing a bunch of terrorists and saving her life, they get back together. The only reason why people even question if it's Christmas or not is because there's violence in it. It's because it's an action movie, but it's the Christmas action movie.
And you got Bruce Willis not bald.
So good.
It's pretty good.
It's
pretty good. Pretty good.
It's like one of my favorite action films from the 80s.
It's more Christmas than Frosty? Maybe.
Possibly. It just is. Frosty's just so happens to be a snowman that came alive because of a magician's hat, and he just wanted to go to the North Pole, and Santa's just so happened to save him. Is that really Christmas?
Maybe. All right, here's where we have a controversial thing that I'm going to put in here. We got here National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Classic. We didn't watch this growing
up.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not
Joe.
a Chevy Chase fan at all.
I am not a Chevy Chase fan either. He's kind of an asshole. This is a funny movie though, so
go out of my way to not watch him. He's also a little problematic.
He's just an asshole.
I don't have interest in it. I know a lot of people love it. I've watched it and went, okay, I'm done with it.
This is like I Community. I watch Community, but also the whole cast kind of hates him in Community, and his character's kind of an ass in Community. But this is like the only Chevy Chase thing I think I watch. We don't watch it every year. I put in like good or even naughty, but it has like just watching this guy, the Griswolds, just watching him break down is hilarious.
It doesn't need to be back in my life. Next, we have Miracle on 34th Street, the 90s edition with...
I've seen this, I think, once. We watch yearly the original, what year is that one? Miracle. The 1947 one. Yeah, 40s. And that one's like, good. But also it's a yearly watch for us.
The lovely girl from Matilda and the little girl from Mrs. Doubtfire. I just want to see a movie breakdown of meshing those three movies together. We're going to see the tale on how Matilda became who she is. Maybe a gift through Santa. Unfortunately, I have not seen it. Jingle All the Way.
He hasn't seen it, but he puts on a list, and he doesn't even put the original one in. Joe. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to add some stuff. He's missing some classics in here. But at least he has Jingle All the Way. Let's see what he feels about it.
What doesn't scream 90s movie? Has to have Schwarzenegger. Has to have Schwarzenegger, especially when his neighbor, which is basically Troy McClure, is going to steal his wife and eat all of his cookies.
Oh, Howard, excuse me, but your wife's cookies are out of this world.
Who told you can eat
my cookies?
Pretty good. I love it. Don't watch it every year because the missus won't watch it with me, but I'll watch it.
We didn't watch it growing up really. It wasn't until recently that I started watching it. Yeah, no, it's good.
I'll watch it.
We can watch it together,
we
Joe.
have Home Alone 3, the one that was labeled by certain people to be better than number 2 by like quite a bit. Pretty naughty.
This is like, I think this is, he might get into it. This was kind of a guilty pleasure for us. Like, we had this on VHS and we did watch it and we did like it, but it's almost a different movie entirely from the Macaulay Culkin ones. Because like he's home alone, but he's home alone sick. Like his family's just at work. The stakes are weird because like he's just home alone for like a few hours and he has to like set up these traps. And the bad guys are not like international terrorists trying to get a missile chip. Like, what is happening? And there's 4 of them. There's just too many people playing. So it's, even though like it's not like Home Alone's believable, it just feels so unbelievable that it loses points for me. And it's, just kind of hokey. But we'd watch this. This was just kind of a guilty pleasure though.
It's not worse than Cole. It's not great. It doesn't have the original cast in there. They were just getting greedy. It was the classic tale of how much of the franchise do you have to suck its taint in order to stop making money. Should have stopped. Right, we
watch this all the time, Joe.
This one's
Get
fine.
off that
I'll
high horse.
rewatch it, but they had to up the ante with 4 baddies. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Don't really want to watch it though.
Mm.
Next, we have The Holiday Inn, the movie that gave us the legendary song White Christmas. That is where it goes above White Christmas. Bing Crosby freaking kills it. And it is just legendary, and that is a fun movie. Again, brought on by my partner. And
it's funny because like we live like the same lives sometimes, because like, yeah, our family, if we didn't watch the like Bing Crosby or like Fred Astaire stuff or whatever, so we didn't watch White Christmas or Holiday Inn, and those were both introduced to me from my partner's family because that's the stuff they would watch during Christmas. It's funny that like it's just we get exposed to same things. We watch White Christmas every year, and I think Holiday Inn we maybe watch like once in a while. It's not as often. And it's funny that the song White Christmas is in both of these, but Holiday Inn I think is older. Holiday Inn's in black and white, and White Christmas is in Technicolor.
And not turning back there. Can't wait to watch it this year. Another controversial one. Elf. Adored by many. People say that's the Will Ferrell.
Before he gets into it, and I'm guessing that he's not putting it high. Elf's fun movie. It is the only Will Ferrell movie that my wife will enjoy watching. It's probably because of Zooey Deschanel.
That they love. Not me, man. I want those ones that are 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. I want that Will Ferrell. I also just find it a little bit annoying. It's hard to rewatch over and over and over again for myself. Like out of the run, it's the best. It's the.
I'd put in like, I don't know. I'd put it in good. He needs another tier. He needs some other tier to split up good, or he needs to move some stuff up.
Best of the naughties. It's not for me. Don't love it, but yeah. Next up, 2 are super easy. We have one for the lulz. We have Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Garbage Day.
It's a horror movie about a killer kid that wears a Santa costume and has to punish everybody. It's so bad it's good, but it's still worse than coal. It's like a polished coal. No, it's not a diamond, but it's still
call it diamond
horrible.
Polished coal.
It's more of a laugh to have with your friend rather than actually enjoy for the Christmas time. Then for some reason Santa Claus 3 came out, and that's the worst movie in existence. It is horrible. They need a 4th movie where they basically do the full circle of the first one where he ends up meeting his death. Maybe there's a theory out there where it's just a time cycle. And he's actually just trapped in a loop, a 50-year loop, basically, over and over and over again.
How?
That'd be kind of cool. But everyone, that wraps it up. Look at what we got here. We got some interesting choices. Basically, I'm going to rearrange there. So my favorite 3 movies that I have to watch every year and struggle to wait until Christmas. Home Alone 1, The Santa Claus, and A Charlie Brown Christmas.
Classics.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to hear what your opinions are in the comments down below. Also, make sure to fill this out yourself and tweet at me what your order was. I'm Joe for the Bro Scouts. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and make sure to like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah, do
I'll
it.
see you on the next one.
Okay. Like, so it's mostly just like minor things here and there that I would have changed, and that's like, just preference. The more confusing thing is just there's some stuff missed out here. Where's Santa Claus is coming to town? Oh yeah, what about Krampus? Gremlins? What about Gremlins? Ernest Saves Christmas? Maybe I'll make mine and send it his way after. I'll be like, here you go, Joe. But I've watched enough of this for now. All right, see you guys later. Bye.